Now that we have gotten through the language structure of PHP data types, we can start on some of the cool stuff. Control structures are used to control the flow of your script. These are made up of conditional structures that will either execute some code or not, depending on the conditions that are met. And then there are the iterative constructs that will iterate through some code until the conditions that are met have been completed. Let's have a look at the if statement. The most basic of the control structures is the if-then-else construct, which will execute a block of code depending on whether a condition equates to true or false. If some condition equates to true, then execute some code. Else, if some other condition is true, execute another piece of code. Else, if none of the above conditions are met, then execute the last piece of code. If statements can also be nested within each other. That is to say, if some condition is met, then we can check for another condition within that if statement with another if statement. Let's have a look at some practical examples. So first, let's have a look at a basic if-else statement. We'll start off with our opening closing PHP tags, and then we're going to declare a variable. I'm going to declare the variable x and give it a value of 1. Then our if statement needs to check for a condition. So let's say if variable x is equal to 1, then we're going to echo the variable is equal to 1. Else, if this is not the case, then we will echo the variable is not equal to 1. Alright, then we hit save. I'll head over to my browser where I've set up a development environment. Click on the file. And then we'll see that it says the variable is equal to 1. So if I go back to my code, let's change the value of x to something other than 1. Let's make it 2. We'll hit save. Go back to our browser and hit refresh. And then we can see it says the variable is not equal to 1. Next, we'll add an else if statement into our if statement. So then we can check for another condition. So let's change our variable back to its initial value of 1. So firstly, in the if statement, we check to see if the variable x was equal to 1. So let's check if x is equal to 2. So we'll do that by adding the else if. Let's just close off the first segment. And then we can check to see whether x is equal to 2. Alright, if x is equal to 2, then we can echo onto the screen. The variable is equal to 2. Then I'm just going to change the else section of the statement to say that the variable is not equal to any of the values. Okay, let's hit save, go back to our browser. We'll hit refresh. Okay, variable is 1. Let's go back to our code and see why this is. X was assigned the value of 1. Our if statement first checks to see if the value is 1. If the value is 1, echoes the variable is equal to 1. So let's make it go into the next section, into the else if part of the statement. So we'll change our variable's value to 2. Now it should skip over the first section where x is equal to 1 and go to the else if where x is equal to 2 and echo on the screen the variable is equal to 2. So let's hit save. Go to our browser. We'll hit refresh. And there it says the variable is equal to 2. So let's go back to our code and we'll change it to any other value besides 1 or 2. Let's make it 25. Now it should skip through x is equal to 1 because it isn't. It should skip the else if section because x is not equal to 2. And we should go to the else section of the statement. So let's hit save. Go to our browser. Upon refresh, it says the variable is not equal to any of the values.